everyone, welcome back to Function Pilates. I'm Vanessa Kelly, founder of Function Pilates located here in Tempe, Arizona. And today I'm back with another reformer workout, and this is creating overall symmetry, where our bodies need to feel the work, whether it's our dominant or weaker side, and how we can fulfill equal symmetry in the body. So I am working on a balanced body piece of equipment here. For those that are working on a different piece of equipment, I will make some recommended spring settings for you so that you can follow along. I will be using a ball in this workout, so feel free to grab your ball. It's really gonna make all the difference in just like those subtle different exercises that we do to impact to create equal symmetry. And for those that are interested in upgrading into a balanced body piece of equipment, I do have a 5% discount for all new customers with balanced body. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and send me an email. My information is on that description box below. And all of the rest of the month of October, we are doing live stream classes right here in my Tempe, Arizona studio. This is a free live stream class. There's limited spots available, but if you check the description box, there's a link to reserve your spot. You can join in on the workout with your at-home reformer, or you can simply observe and see what this is all about regardless. So for those that are ready to get started, let's go ahead and begin. Let's go ahead and begin with a warm-up, and this is going to be a no spring warm-up. So we're going to detach carefully all of our springs, send our feet into the well in a seated position, and the closer you are to the edge of the carriage, the more challenging the warm-up will be for you. But let's place the ball in between the knees to create hip stabilization here. Arms are out, palms are looking at one another, and begin to drop your chin as you articulate through the spine, sending that carriage underneath you. Begin to rebuild your spine as you come up to a tall seated position. Now, as we continue with this movement of articulation through the spine, you'll notice with each repetition, you may be able to get a little bit deeper, a little bit more closer to the carriage than as your first repetition. Beautiful. Nice and slow. Nod that chin down, scoop the belly. So think of the navel going in closer to the spine here. And it's a gentle press between the knees to create, again, that pelvic stability. Slowly, we're going to go ahead and pulse the knees together, feeling the inner thighs, dropping the shoulders, focus on your breath. And as you press your feet down into the floor, return back up to a tall position. Let's add in some obliques. So we're going to reach out to the side, pressing through both feet with equal weight distribution to send yourself back up through center. Shoulders are dropping down, and our goal is to create space between the shoulder and the ear and allow just enough rotation through the spine without sending the feet away from the floor. We don't want to disconnect that equal weight. Again, a gentle press between the knees. Don't worry about how far you're going. Don't worry about the rotation. My concern is that you are keeping your knees squared with your hips. From here, let's drop it down through center. We're going to raise the arms up, circle out wide, and then return through center. Good. So again, lower it back to that articulated place, frame the ears, circle around, press through your feet to return up tall. And notice how that really does make a difference. We don't want to feel like our toes are disconnecting. The goal is to create more of that deeper connection through our transverse abdominis, which is our deepest ab stabilizer. And sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So as you roll back, open and close the arms to a T for about 5 repetitions and then return through center. Beautiful. So we should feel pretty warm here. Taking the ball between our hands, we're going to maintain that stability as we lower back just as we did to that side angle, reach the ball around, and then return through center. Same side. So we'll reach out through the right, lift up through center to catch the ball to the left hand, open, and then close it to come through center. Let's try that again. Out to the side, reach overhead to the left, open out, rotating, and then back through the center. Okay, 3 times the other way. So we're gonna open out with the left arm, reach up with the right to catch the ball, open wide to the right, and then return through center. Beautiful. So taking your time with this, notice if your knees are shifting. Again, do we have equal weight through the heels and the ball of the feet? It really does create a difference as we go through this warm-up here. Beautiful. And then bring it back. So carefully, let's go ahead and attach 2 medium springs or 2 red springs if you're on a balanced body. And we're gonna go ahead and lie down on our back, getting into some single leg footwork with the ball. So the ball is going to be under the right foot against the foot bar to create instability. And then we're gonna go ahead and apply our left heel on the foot bar. So notice that your legs are in a parallel position in railroad tracks, and then I want you to think of pushing out through your left heel. Yes, the left heel. So we're pressing out long. Your right knee isn't going to fully extend, but there is going to be this sense of creating balance and this awareness. We're awakening up the sleeping muscles on that right-hand side to feel really more the quietness through the right bottom of the foot here. And we're just doing about 10 repetitions and then we'll head into pulses, but I just want you to give you guys a little bit of notice here. Keeping that chest open, focus on the breath. Taking that nice inhale through the nose as you widen out through the rib cage here. Bring it at halfway, 10 pulses here. Pushing through that left heel, not necessarily through the right side. Right side's just floating. On that 10th one, push out through that left leg to a straight leg and return back in again. Good, hold it there. Before we switch sides, extend your left leg out long. And we're gonna go into single leg circles. So send your left leg out to the side and sweep it around here. So 5 repetitions here. And the focus is that it's not how much range of motion you have. It's about how well can we keep our hips quiet while we're balancing through that right foot. Hold at the top, go the other way. 5 repetitions down and around. But we're targeting, again, the core muscles here. So the pelvic floor is working in conjunction with our deepest ab stabilizer, with our deepest back stabilizer, and our diaphragm. So now shimmy the ball over to the left-hand side. Send that right heel parallel on the foot bar. And once you're ready, push out through the right heel this time. And as you go through each repetition here, start to notice what's the difference you're feeling in your body from left to right. Okay, so that's where I was talking about in the beginning, where we do have a dominant side, but we also have that weaker side. And so what is it that we need to do in order to create more balance and symmetry through our body? And of course, we're always like, either right-handed or left-handed. And so those things are going to be more overactive and that they're going to create more tightness in our body. But it is something to pay attention to and maybe appreciate more and allow more stretching on that tighter side. So again, once you get to your full 10, come in, pulse it for 10. Nice and easy, feeling the quad working. Just intensify the heat above the knee and then press out long through that right side. Bring it back into the stopper. Reach out long through your right leg, send it up towards the ceiling, and then 5 scoops all the way around. Good. Now, if you're having trouble keeping your leg straight, just a micro bend at the knee is totally sufficient. Again, the goal isn't about keeping your leg completely straight. Good. When you hit 5, reverse it. The goal is really to target our core muscles here. Nice. Try to relax through your shoulders. And then we're going to shimmy the ball back over. And this time, again, as the right foot rests along the ball, the left toes are now presented on the foot bar. So we do have some more distance to travel through on that left side, which means that it's going to open up the back of the right knee a little further. But where are any compensations occurring? Do we feel like there's a hip hike occurring? So that's something to be addressed as well. Are you sending too much pressure on the inside of your right foot or the outside? It is quite tricky, so take your time with it. That's what Pilates is all about, is focusing on that control. And then when you hit your 10th one, let's do 10 single calf raises on that left side. Again, it's the left ankle that's articulating the movement. The right leg is honestly just going for the ride here. Good. Exercising those intrinsic muscles of the feet. Beautiful. And on your last calf raise there, we can go ahead and bring it back home. Good. So take it to the other side. Shimmy that ball. Hopefully this is an exercise in itself just to do. And then right toes are on. We're going to send it out long once again. And I'd like you to challenge your right heel to stay lifted here so that you're pressing with equal amount of pressure through all of your toes on that right side. And that could be somewhat challenging, especially if you don't exactly have straight toes and need some correction with that. That can definitely throw off your balance and how you are walking, how it relates to posture. But really drawing that belly down and in, keeping the chest open with the neck and the facial muscles soft. We'll drop it down for those 10 calf raises. Good. So pressing through the toes of the right foot, sending the heel down and long, opening up the entire calf and hamstring of that right side. And it should feel pretty good. Lots of ankle mobility here. Beautiful job. And then return home. Good. So find that ball. Go ahead and carefully come off to the side here. And we're going to keep the ball. We're not losing it at all during this workout, but we will send that box up in a long position. So carefully secure it against the shoulder blocks. We will be on one blue spring. I will eventually go down to the yellow spring, which is a very light spring. So start with what you think is best. So either a light spring or an extra light spring. And then take it into your loops if you're not already there. Headrest is down so your feet have a place to carefully rest on. And then go ahead and position yourself just somewhat in the middle of the box here. Feet are planted. Hold onto that ball with two hands. And then carefully, as we did in the beginning, we're going to roll ourselves down. Our bra line's going to hit and connect to the box. Raise your arms up for a nice stretch in the shoulders. And then as you press into your feet, we're going to rebuild the spine back to the top. So nod the chin, scoop through the belly, send the arms up overhead to the best of your ability. Push down through the feet, draw the navel into the spine, restack the shoulders. Watch the shoulders if they're not creeping up to the ears. Good. One more time like this. We're going to send those arms all the way up and back. Beautiful. Carefully bring it to tabletop. Hold those knees together. Double leg stretch, simultaneously reaching arms and legs at the same time. Beautiful job. Lots of torso stabilization, meaning upper body is not lowering or lifting, which can be very difficult. So notice how your body is reacting here. Hold it there. Open, close the legs here. Open, close. Keep those arms and shoulders strong. Stay lifted, eyesight down towards your navel. Bring it back to tabletop. Send one foot down at a time, and then carefully return back up to a nice tall seated position. Okay, so this is where I decided to go down to a very light spring. We're going to do some single arm work, so that's why I suggested it. And I'm going to pretty much stay on this yellow spring for quite a few exercises going forward. So feel free to go between extra light and a light. Go ahead and take the ball behind your right knee, grab a hold of the loop with your left hand, and then carefully supporting your head with your right hand, extend out long through your left leg. So we're gonna lift the arm up towards the ceiling, and as we lower, begin to rotate your chest towards the ball, and then return, come back up. Now, as you are rotating, remember to keep your elbow on the right side nice and wide. Beautiful job. Super slow. We're energetically reaching out through our toes. About 5 repetitions here, and then carefully, however that looks for you, return back up to the top. So you can always add on additional repetitions, obviously. But when you feel that fatigueness, when you feel like your eyesight is going to the ceiling, you know you've hit your stopping point. We do want to have your eyesight down towards your belly button. So as we get into position again, we're going to reach that right arm up. And then as we rotate towards the ball, that arm will lower. Good, nice and slow. Again, I did about 5 to 6 repetitions here. Carefully rotating and returning through center, and then bring it back all the way up to the top. Good. And then we can go ahead and hang that loop here. Okay, so we're going to go into a sideline series, so you can keep the box as is. I'm going to maintain my spring load, like I said. Again, do what's best for you, but we're going to be doing a lot of single arm work here, so I don't want to overly fatigue the shoulder and the arm where we begin to create faulty posture here and wear and tear on our form. So in the sideline, go ahead and take your left hand up towards the ceiling with the loop. Your hips are stacked, balls in between the knees for secure stabilization. Draw that left arm down towards the hip, and your right arm is just resting on the shoulder blocks. On the headrest here. Eyesight is straight ahead so that we can keep the neck more so in line with our spine. And it's about 5 repetitions. We're just lowering and lifting through the arm, and then we're going to add 5 circles one direction. Now, as you're going through these circles, I want you to focus on plugging your shoulder back, that you're not reaching out of your shoulder. So that creates a lot of scapula depression, meaning that we want to keep our shoulder blade dropped down. Go ahead and reverse it when you're ready. So that's why this also contributes to a very controlled manner here. Good. Abs are drawn in. And on your last one, we're going to go ahead and finish it with about 10 triceps. So you're going to bend and straighten through your elbow, keeping that pressure with both knees into the ball here. Maybe you have to remind yourself to puff your chest up a little bit because we don't want to be dropping or sagging down into our elbow. So think of your elbow puncturing into that headrest to lift you up a little further. Perfect. 10 repetitions here. Should be feeling the tricep, back of the arm. And then hold it right there. Bring that arm straight up towards the sky. We're going to add a little pulse there with the knees. So squeeze through those knees about 10 repetitions. Once we hit 10, we're going to drop the heel down and up towards the ceiling. So drop it down and then lift to the ceiling, almost like creating this V position with the heels. A little internal rotation to external rotation at the hip joint. But at the meantime, we are definitely keeping pressure into the strap. And then let's combine them. So we'll press down for 1 and then add internal external rotation for 2. And then go back in, pressing the ball in for 1. Good. So about 5 combos here. So that we are, again, feeling that pressure in the inner thighs, and then carefully go ahead and set the strap down. We can go ahead and sit ourselves up, and we're going to be long box. Straddle through that box here, and then you're going to go ahead and take the right loop in your hand. Have the ball in your right hand as well, and we'll begin with serving. So in a very tall fashion here, you're going to hold the ball with your right hand, loops in your right hand, and you're reaching both arms simultaneously out in front of you. Good, so about 10 repetitions here, and it's gonna create this heaviness as we continue to build on this. So watch your shoulders. Hopefully you're in front of a mirror, but if you're not, you can feel the tension building if you're like shrugging your shoulder up. So again, roll that shoulder back, plug it back into position, and then you can continue on. So once you hit 10 here, we'll go into our hug a tree. And the whole point is that the loop and the ball is to throw us off, right? It's where are we feeling where we want to compensate. And I'd like to challenge you to open your arms out equally so that one arm isn't actually flying back further than the other. It's as if you did have loops in both your hands and a ball in both of your hands. Good. So 10 there. And then bring your arms up. We're going to hinge at the hips here. Just kind of send your hips forward. And then both hands are on the ball this time for shaving. Straighten those arms. Keep your eyesight down towards the foot bar. And again, equal amount of pressure is pressing into the carriage with your feet here. So that loop on the right side wants to pull you one direction. So it's really a requirement to have the left side working just as hard, if not even more. And go ahead and bring it down. Okay, so let's just send that loop on the peg, and then we'll go back into our other side. So we're gonna remain seated before we hit our sideline series. So again, nice and tall, ribs are connected. We're gonna reach out with both arms, get a sense of how this feels on this side. Taking your time as you reach out. And also, as we focus so much on the shoulders and the arms here, I do want you to feel like you're tucking your tailbone under. If you feel like you are actually arching through your low back, I want you to feel like you're tucking your tailbone under so that we get into more neutral position here. Hold it on that last one, open and close. Making sure that your arms are at equal height. And we'll discover that because maybe your height is a little lower than your shoulders, because if you bring your arms up even higher, you'll notice your shoulders creeping up. So find that place where it's safe for you to continue with these repetitions. Good. Keep breathing. On that last one, let's bring our arms overhead. Remember, we're hinging from the hips here. Elbows are framing. And then we straighten and we bend. Elbows should be looking straight ahead, so they're not wide. And I definitely could tell on my left side that I had a tendency to rotate. So that could be something you might be doing. So try to see if you are aware of that and how to correct it. Beautiful. Arms should be feeling it at this point. Back of the arms, shoulders, nice and strong, sculpted. And carefully, let's bring it back down. So hanging up that loop, we're gonna go ahead and find ourselves on our left side. Ball's gonna go between the knees again. So carefully find yourself there. It's always interesting when you flip sides, things just don't always feel the same way. But find that loop in your right hand, make the adjustments you need. And from here, puff that chest up, look straight ahead, start to slowly drop that right arm over the right hip. Think of keeping your legs active so they are parallel. The top leg is parallel to the bottom leg. Focus on your exhalation as you press downward into the resistance. And then we'll add in those circles. So slowly reach it out and around. But not so much of a reach where you can feel a shift in your shoulders. Again, it's very important to maintain the stacked position here. So your circle could be very small, and that's okay too. Once we hit 5, we'll go ahead and switch it the other way. Keep breathing. Keep drawing that belly button in towards your spine. Keep that equal amount of pressure into the ball with both your knees. And then finish it off with our tricep press. So we bend and we straighten out through that top arm. And I like the ball in between the knees because it does create a sense of reminder of to lift up from our pelvic floor. Because that is one of the 4 components of the core, and we want to activate that as much as possible for, again, stronger hips, for anyone who struggles with incontinence. It prevents prolapse and all sorts of other things here. So arm is up, and then we're going to go ahead and squeeze through the knees. So feel that pressure, feel your lats working as you press gently into the strap. Once you hit 10 pulses, then we're going to go ahead and drop the heel down towards the bottom heel. So about 10 there. All at the same time. We don't want to feel a lot of movement through our hips, so everything's super quiet here. Beautiful. Once you hit 10, we'll add that combo where we pulse down and then we internal and externally rotate through the hip joint. It's almost like a mind game here, but let's take it as some coordination. Again, we're just trying to tie in all those Pilates principles into our workout. All right, so from here, go ahead and carefully come up all the way to the top. We're going to reposition our box to short box. So it's going to go horizontal. And this time I'm going to move myself up to a blue spring, which is a light spring. And we're going to do some full body work here. So prepare for a little bit more heat. And this is where we do want to pay close attention to what our body is feeling. So I'm going to do about 6 repetitions here. But if by repetition 3, you can feel your body sinking and not being strong enough to maintain position, you know that's your stopping point. So the knee is against the box. Come on your forearms. You're pushing off the ledge with your right leg. And then hold to plank. Lift the left knee up and then down. So we're going to roll the ball up the box, release, and then bend the right knee. Good. So it just deepens the work through our abdominal muscles here. You're going to get some hip work. You're going to feel the quads working. You're going to feel everything. Good. Nice and easy. And then bring it down. Good. Okay. So as we continue, we won't do the other side just yet. We're going to add on a different combination. So we're going to hold plank. Left hand is going to be supporting the ball here. It's going to create instability. So bending both knees and then press out to 2 straight legs. So nice and easy. Bend both knees. We press out long to 2 straight legs. Taking your time to press into the ball. Press your right hand into the box so that we are not creating a tunnel or a valley in between our shoulder blades. And I know that's hard to do. How are you rotating? How's the body? Are we staying squared? And then let's go ahead and change it up. So we're going to take that ball against the box again, come down to our forearms. Take a moment to breathe. Get water whenever you need it, guys. And then from here, bring that knee up, bend the left knee. Push out to a straight leg, roll it up, and then bend the left knee. Now, again, I'm on a light spring, so if you need more stability, you could always add more weight. If you want this to be even harder, you can decrease your weight. Keep the eyesight down in between your forearms. And I like the palms up so I'm not overly gripping. And come back home. All right. Good job, guys. Okay, so once you're ready, we're going to go ahead and come back up to that plank position. Ball is underneath the right palm. Both feet are supported by the ledge of the reformer. Try to square out as much as possible. So we're going to bend the knees and push out to straight legs. Bend the knees, press it to straight legs. Good. Drop those shoulders down again. Give it all you have to pull that belly button up and to open up your back muscles. Nice work. And carefully, let's bring it back down. Beautiful job. And we will now just nicely transition into some side over. So we're good with the box just the way it is. And now we get to add all of our springs and have our safety strap available to us. So as you sit on the box on your right hip, go ahead and place your left foot into the safety strap. Right leg is on top of the short box. And then we'll use the ball to press against our chest. And allow this to be a reminder that your elbows are reaching in opposite directions. We'll dip ourselves down and then exhale to return up. So we don't want to feel like we're moving so much with the safety strap. That's what actually creates this exercise to be so much more challenging, is that your hips are nice, again, and quiet. Keep that chest lifted, so maybe puff up a little bit like you're in 2 panes of glass. Beautiful, and just nice, simple 10 repetitions here, nothing extra fancy. Go ahead and come back up, and then we will switch to the other side. Right foot is supported by that safety strap. Left leg is on top of the box. Go ahead and press that ball into your chest. Elbows are wide. Dip it over and exhale, lift up. Getting into those obliques a little bit deeper. And just feel this openness through your back. Giving it a gentle hug with your palms of your hands as you press the ball into your chest. Let that be a reminder to not collapse over the ball, but to stay elongated. Good, and come back up. All right, guys, so just a couple more things here. We're going to head into some back extension. So I'm dropping down to a blue spring. Let's go back to a long position with the box. And then lie on your stomach. You're going to face the risers. And go ahead and place the ball behind your right knee. Give it a little hug there. You can hug the box with your right arm and then hold on to the rope with your left. So pull back with your left arm and then pulse up with your right leg and then lower down. So it's step by step so that we can feel a little bit more of that extension work through our back, through those postural muscles. And remember, the left leg is energetic. It's just not flopping and lying there. So you want to point out through your toes. Good, lift and then lower. So just 5 repetitions here. We'll switch to the other side. Give that ball a hug. Reach out long through your right leg. Think of equal pressure in your hips. Pull back with that right arm. Lift up with the left leg. So sometimes we can notice that we are putting more pressure in one hip or the other. Good. Neck is long. Nice active legs, nice active arm. Still breathing. You should be able to hear your breath. And then let's bring it back in. Good job. So carefully come off to the side. We will go ahead and loose the box here. We can place the foot bar all the way back up. And Then from here, go ahead and stay with your ball, and we can place the ball on the carriage, resting your right knee on it. Right foot is supported by the shoulder block, left foot is in front. So taking that nice deep lunge to stretch those hip flexors out. And then as you bring it in, keep your left leg straight and go right into your hamstring stretch. So rule of thumb here is left hip goes back, right hip goes forward, just to square you off even further. Go back to your lunge. And then go back into your hamstring stretch. Good, shoulders down, arms are straight. And bring it back home. Let's go ahead into the other side. So left foot supported by the shoulder block, and honestly, it feels really nice to have the ball underneath the knee. I just feel like, for me, it gets deeper into the hip flexors. So if you have tight hip flexors, it's just really nice. Good, find your hamstring stretch. Square off your hips, remember. Good. Repeating this one more time from your lunge into your hamstring stretch. Nice long spine. Beautiful job there, guys. All right, so let's finish it with a couple roll downs. Let's keep the ball going. So have it support between your inner thighs, nice and tall. We'll reach both your arms up overhead. Go ahead and dive it down nice and slow, just appreciating the work that you've done for yourself today. Begin to rebuild yourself up nice and slow, shoulders rolling back. Try it one more time. Thank you again, guys, so much for watching. I hope you liked it. If you're new to the channel, thank you again for being here. I hope you subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon.